Good day and welcome to another A Week at the Plot. As I was doing the editing yesterday, in fact, as I was doing the uploading of last week's A Week at the Plot, which went live on YouTube this morning, so it's now Monday the 2nd of November, I realised I've been doing A Week at the Plot for 6 months. I started at the beginning of May, it's now the beginning of November. So we have, 26 under our belt, gone through the whole active part, if you like, of the growing season. And now we're getting into the preparedness part for next year's growing season. As you know, I consider our growing year from the beginning of October to the end of September. So we're now 1 month into what we consider to be our growing year. I am going to be sowing some more peas for pea shoots today. We'll go and have a look at those quick soak peas that we sowed for pea shoots. When I opened the polytunnel just a few minutes ago, there was a smell. And yeah, it was coming from those quick soak dried peas. But I'm going to be sowing some Marrowfat peas, the ones that have done well for us time in and time out over the last couple of years. And when I opened the packet, there were far more full peas in there than in the quick soak box. In fact, I think there were only like 3 or 4 peas that were half peas, if you like. The rest of them are full peas. But I put them into a box so that we can have a look at them before I actually sow them. Well, I think it's fair to say this experiment showed I was right. Do not use quick soak dried peas for pea shoots. This actually now smells. You can see that everything is a lot more mouldy than it was 2 days ago. Even the bits that have germinated are actually rotting away, going mouldy, and that is going to go into our compost bin. What I do have further along is Marrowfat peas. You can see very high percentage of complete peas. I've only seen 2 half peas in this half packet. So really, it's so much worth going for these Marrowfat peas to do pea shoots and not go for those quick soak ones. I think there's about 20p difference, but yeah, there's a mile of difference in quality. So these peas are now going to go onto this soil. So I have topped these with a little bit of compost, but you can see the peas coming through. It really is a very fine layer of compost. So we shall leave them like that. This is the Brassica bed that we sorted yesterday. There's been bees on these flowers until a very short while ago. The sun is going down a bit now. I have staked some of the larger brassicas. You can see next to that brassica stem there's a stake, and at the top in the middle there's actually a rubber tree guard, a rubber tie rather, in there, mainly because I have some spare. That's to stop this blowing about in the wind, and of course we had very strong winds last night, so I'm glad that happened. The others up there are also unnetted now. No bird damage so far. Oh, I want to show you something. I want to show you something that I forgot. Look what we have here. A broad bean shoot. And here, another one. Yay! Well, that sun is really going down now, and it's definitely colder today than it was yesterday, and I think the next couple of days go really quite cold as well. So, but you know, that's what we expect. It's that time of year, isn't it? I had another close look at the broad bean bed, and there are another 4 broad beans sprouting. So I'm really pleased about that. I was only looking at that bed yesterday thinking, come on, broad beans, come on, grow. And they have. So that's great. A little interruption there, but it was quite a welcome one. It was from the plot holder who had given me the quick soak dried peas to see how they would germinate, and that was really great, because even though that person had seen the update in this morning's YouTube video, the one that uploaded this morning, it was great to be able to show them in person what they looked like and what they smelt like as well. So yeah, there's still to go in our compost bin, but I'll be doing that before I go home. Anyway, after the broad bean bit, and before this bit, if you like, I did some Googling of prices, and those quick soak dried peas were around 50p for 250 grams, which is about £2 a kilo. The Marrowfat peas that we got from Morrison's are 70p for 500 grams. So that's £1.40 a kilo. So by weight, the Marrowfat peas are actually cheaper than the quick soak peas. Also, if you then sort of take out the amount of peas on the quick soak that we had to discard because they were split and they would have just gone mouldy straight away, yeah, it's worked out much cheaper to go for those Marrowfat peas, and fingers crossed they'll germinate like they have done for us in the past. Anyway, that's it for me today. I will see you again very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye. Good day. Not the allotment, but at Coombe Hill, another of our favourite places. Look at these wonderful rose hips. But look at this fantastic, absolutely fantastic shrub. I wonder if you know what it is. Look at all those red berries. Glorious. You could certainly make something from those. And then if we come over, that's the view that we have from Coombe Hill. If we go over that way, there's Richard walking and a monument that we'll get to in a minute. We're now at another of our favourite places, West Wycombe, which I think you've seen before. It's got the fantastic Mausoleum, which I'm sure in some of our videos will link to that. All of this is farming land over there. And then that's West Wycombe House, a stately home. And then over there, there's Richard walking up the hill. But in the distance is Wycombe itself. Hi Wycombe. A lot less breezy now than it was on Coombe Hill. See you soon. Bye. Good day. We're at Hampton Court Palace and have just seen this at the end of one of the walks, the gardener's hut. Come in and explore the working year in Hampton Court Palace Gardens. Look at this. Look at all of that woodwork down there. Right up here, sieves, riddles as they are. All of this old these old tools, these old hand tools. I love that fork up there. Look at that. Gorgeous. All photos of the different gardeners over the years, by the looks of it. Different nursery team people. Operations team. Little window to look out. How cute. Clay pots. Look at all of these. Oh, can we open them? Oh yeah, look, they've got things inside. They feel quite modern because they move really well. Notes on the 88-89 season. Wow. Squash, sorry about my finger. Squash down below. Bits and pieces, balanced organic fertilizer in different pots, perlite. Gosh, obviously stuffed birds. And then coming back out into the sun and the gardens. We'll leave it there. Bye. Good day. First visit to the plot for a few days, and we've had 2 frosts. Last night was actually quite a hard frost, and as you can see, this cosmos has really been hit by the frost and is beginning to die back now. I mean, the flowers are virtually transparent now. The petals have frozen and then defrosted, and obviously with the cells freezing, the structure of the cells has been lost because the cells have effectively burst. And yeah, that's what happened last night. There is another one further up here in the flower bed that we'll have a look at in a minute because it really shows its transparency. But you know, you can see in these, you know, they're almost like glass. I've decided to bring that cheeky prince in the middle in fact to harvest it. It's been well shielded from frost, but if we're going to have cold nights, which we are, then time to harvest. Everything else is looking fine. The brassicas have shrugged off frost, as one would expect, though hopefully the aphids that were on some of these brassicas have succumbed to the frost. Fenella's been around. She's been doing a bit of digging, I've noticed. There's a nice hole there, and there's a hole up there. No further... Oh, one further onion. There's another onion there. And... Oh, there's another one. Look, can you see just there? In the garlic bed, nothing yet from the mesodrome or the thermodrome, which is interesting because the mesodrome was up quite quickly last year. This year, not so quickly. The parsnips obviously will have had a little bit of a frost, so that's quite good. And my Heath Robinson coal frame is doing rather well. In fact, one of the lettuce is growing. Oh, sorry about that. Not sure if you can see, but this one here is actually at the top of the glass. Whether that's because it's bolting or not, I'm not sure. But clearly, they need harvesting, which I will get onto later. But let's just leave with these cosmos. Oh well, let's have a look at the colour in that blueberry. Stunning. Beautiful. Moving over, this is one that I think is looking particularly ghostly after the frost. But you can see how they're all losing their structure. This was the very can't say it, very pale pink one. Still just about holding in there. The darker purple one has really had it. And this pink one is just holding in there too. But I think they'll be gone in the next day or so. There's still some lovely spots of colour though with the calendula, which are still looking lovely. A lot of tidying to do, and Fenella has dug up some of the saffron crocus as well. But you know what, as I stand here, the sun is beginning to break through up here. But it is looking autumnal, no doubt about it, which is what one would expect. See you again tomorrow. Bye. Good day. What a lovely autumn day it is. Bit grey and a bit foggy this morning, but lovely now. Blue skies, as you can see behind me. Today, quick job, just turning our compost. Let me show you what I use. Here we have our Dalek compost bin, and next to it I have this utensil, this tool. It's basically for turning the compost. So you put the, what do you call that, spiral at the top of the compost and then turn it using this handle, and then just lift the whole thing up, and that basically moves your compost from further down to further up. And I do it maybe about 6 times, and that will turn the compost in this whole bin. I should have given you a before shot, but this is the after shot. So that spiral has gone right down to the base of the bin. As you saw, you sort of heave it up, and it brings compost from the bottom to the top and moves it all around, and that's turning the compost and aerating the compost, which is really great. When you're cold composting like this, you really need air, and you also need to make sure that the compost is not too wet, which is why it's really good to add up shredded newspaper and also torn up cardboard. So now I'm going to get on and do our hot bin composter in the same way. Right, so that's our compost bins turned. It really is such a glorious day. The sunshine is so bright out there that I'm just doing this in the doorway of the shed, as you can see. I do the turning of the compost about once a month, something like that. I don't actually mark it down in any diary when I have turned the compost. I should do, because then I would know that it's a month on. But actually it doesn't matter whether you do it sort of 3 weeks or 5 weeks, if you see what I mean. So as long as I know I've turned it at least once a month, then that's great. I expect us to be getting that compost out from the Dalek bin around March, April time, something like that. We obviously have quite a lot of compost already from the bags for the tomatoes, from the butternut squash, and also we've got that full bag of compost from the old compost bin that you may remember I dismantled back in about March, April time, and I put all of the uncomposted material into that ton bag, so we have all of that to use. Yeah, that's it for today. What are we going to be doing over the weekend? Oh, door shut. Let me open it. I just popped in here, so I didn't actually latch the door. But anyway, never mind. I think we're going to be planting some bulbs. In fact, we are going to be planting some bulbs and doing a couple of other things. Next week or the week after, the big work will start on the beds underneath the vinyl, or the fruit bed, or the pond. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, see you tomorrow. Bye. Good day. Again, a beautiful day today. I've just actually caught Fenella sunbathing on our neighbour's table. So I'm going to pop that in right at the end of this episode of A Week at the Plot. She's just so cute. I mean, really is. Though she does dig up onions and things like that. So, you know, yeah, that's nature. Today, bits and pieces. I still need to get the few extra garlic that I had left over from our planting into some troughs, so I'll be doing that. Little bit of deadheading, yeah, and just a sort of few bits and pieces. It's definitely a tidying day today, and also it's a shirt sleeves day today as well. Rather lovely. This is our leftover garlic. That's messidrome, and the rest is porcelain white. And I'm just going to put them all in this trough. We'll have them as green garlic, I think. Putting these ones a little bit closer. that's that job done. I keep on forgetting to harvest, but you can see this is already, the frost has already got that. Small, yeah, but it'll do. Leaving room for the celeriac to grow. Time to sort out this bed and cover it up for the winter. The California poppies, the orange ones, and the over here the nasturtiums are succumbing to the frost, and they'll continue to do so. So time to get this bed sorted. I do see in here a bit of grass, so I'm going to take that out and then cover this whole thing in compost. Let me just swing you round, see if we can get our neighbour's cat. There she is. Hello. I think she may be keeping her eye on Fenella. So that's the nasturtiums and the California poppy out. I'm just going to rake it now. This is all from our hot bin composter. There's still some big chunks. There's a avocado there or something, but that's fine. This will rot down over the winter. So that's that done. I'll get a few bricks and place it on top of this cardboard and remove that bucket, but that'll do for the minute. And I've just tucked it this end underneath the flowers, which is fine. This is all going to be going into a box and will end up as browns in our compost bins. So that's all going in our browns box, our browns cardboard box. We also have a bin with shredded paper in, which is also browns. But that's job done. In fact, I think that's all jobs done for today. Look at these Cara potatoes. Not that huge. Nice few meals there though. I just remembered I've got 3 tubs of these to harvest, so I harvested one and this is what came out. So quite happy with those. Though we're not going to do potatoes next year, or certainly not in the quantities we did this year. Right, that's the jobs all done for today. The sun's going down, still bright though, lovely, lovely sky as you can see behind me. I got done what I wanted to get done today, so I'm really happy with those potatoes. I'm going to be taking a few turnips home. Are there beetroot? No, no beetroot, but I will be taking some of our brassica leaves home, the Portuguese cabbage leaves, and we'll be having those supper. Gosh, it is still quite bright though. Right, I'll leave it there. See you soon. Bye. Good day. Some of you may remember the sunflowers that I put in. There's one little bit of yellow just at the top there. These were in commemoration of a friend of mine who sadly died earlier this year. Nothing to do with the pandemic. Yeah, Jax, dear Jax, absolutely glorious, well, woman, but I've known her since sort of her late teens. Anyway, I put these sunflowers in, which as you can see are all now well gone. But what I've decided is I'm going to keep this trough as Jax's trough. I called her Jax, other people called her Jackie or Jacqueline, but this is going to be Jax's trough. And I've decided, having bought some tulips and iris, I'm going to put them all in here. And I'm going to keep this trough as hopefully a flowering trough to always remind me of the wonderful Jax. So I have these, which you will have seen. So the one at the front is iris and at the back is cream cocktail tulips. The iris are called metallic mix. And what I'm going to do is hopefully hoist this onto the table so that I can start removing those sunflowers, because I'd rather do it at waist height than kneeling down. Oh, this is my squirrel deterrent from where I planted the garlics yesterday. This chair, as you can see, has had better days, but it's useful as a thing at the moment to put troughs and a swing on that is going to go to the community gardens. Anyway, I need to get on with clearing this trough out. I did try and lift this up, but it's just too heavy. So I pulled it away. Here is a black bag. Well, that's a compost bag turned inside out that was suppressing weeds underneath this. And I'm going to plant bulbs now. I'm going to put you, though, over there to look this way. These are the tulips. I'm just going to space them. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to put them into groups of 3 because I think I prefer that. Yeah, rather than it being too what do you call it? Put that there. Right, and then let's have some of these in pockets. Got lots of planes this morning. As a rule of thumb, you want to plant the bulbs about twice their depth. So I'm just making a hole, which you may not be able to see with my fingers. Just let's pop the tulips in first. Again, like onions and things, you don't want to push them into the soil. I mean, this is pretty soft because obviously I've taken the sunflowers out and rucked up the soil well, so it's nice and soft. But you don't want to damage this growing base plate down here because you could cause rot. Okay, so that's the tulips in. Now let's group in the iris. I've really been quite a person where I'd like straight lines and groups of things, but as I'm doing this, I'm just thinking, you know, be a bit more random, Paul. Nature's not, you know, in smooth lines and things like that. Go with the flow. Now this spent compost, I'm going to put some chicken manure pellets on top. You know, I think chicken manure pellets helps a huge amount of things, but it will release nutrients down into this spent compost, which will really help the bulbs. But a bulb, this bulb has got the energy it needs to grow. That's what a bulb is. Right. Just press it all down. What I am going to do now is just put some chicken manure pellets on top and then a scattering more of compost on top of that. That'll do. Right, now to put this back in place. Still have these iris. There's most probably about, 16, 18 in there. And I've also got some freesias. So what I'm going to be doing is planting freesias and iris in this size pot, so that come next year I can have iris and freesias along here, which will be lovely. Just looking at these sedums, can you see how the new growth is coming at the bottom, which is fabulous. Down here you can really see down there, lovely. So there we are, the end of a week at the plot, and again quite a full week. There's a few more things I want to do before I go home. So the sunflowers that I took out from Jax's trough, I'm going to be cutting up those stems and putting that into our cold Dalek compost bin. There's a few bits and pieces that I want to do. There's a lot of tidying I want to do. But as I said before, really take your mind onto the jobs that really need doing. The tidying needs to be done, but it can wait. If you've got garlic you want to get in, broad beans, peas, bulbs, seed sown, maybe some late flower seed sowing, which will sort of come on next year, then, you know, get on and do those things. Leave the tidying up for the days when you don't have other things to do. I was talking to a fellow plot holder, and she's just got her broad beans in today and is leaving tidying to another time. Anyway, if you like what we do, please do subscribe. Look us up as Richard and Paul on Facebook and our Facebook group Planet Vegetaria. And we will see you very soon for other videos and obviously for another week at the plot. See you then. Bye.